Swiss watches. Swatch
Is up, watch friends. Welcome to Friday. How's everyone doing today? Today I'm wearing my Omega Seamaster SMP 300. I put the black OEM strap back on it. Really like it with the black strap right now. So, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're going to talk about Swatch. So let's roll the intro and we'll get into it.
You're watching Timepieces with Tony. Talking timepieces with Tony. You're watching Talking Timepieces with Tony.
Yeah. All right, man. So wearing my Omega simply because it's a Swatch Group watch company. And so I'm going to talk about, first and foremost, I got a new Swatch just a few days ago. It's pretty sick. It's actually one of one. And this is my Halloween watch. This is where, you know, Swatch, I'm on their mailing list. So they sent me an email that basically you go to their website and there's like they give you options on the movement as far as the, you know, with the different color, if you want a gold movement or a black movement or whatever you want. And then you have a clear watch, and then basically you have a grid that has a pattern on it, and you kind of position the watch into whatever design you want on the pattern. And then you click it and that's your watch. And then you have an option of basically, you know, putting that on the back, and that's what I did. I've been a huge fan of Swatch, and it's one of my, actually, believe it or not, it is one of my favorite brands. I don't know if any of you guys grew up in my era in the 80s, and when Swatch came out in 1983, it was a big deal. Now, I'm not talking about like some of the comments I'll get from some of these kids that, you know, Swatch suck or whatever it is, man. But if you were around in the early, mid 80s up to the 90s and whatever, Swatch was huge. The Swiss watch industry was kind of tanking. It was there was the quartz crisis that was going on, and basically Swatch came out and they started designing these really fun watches. And when I was young and I started seeing those ads, to me it was like, oh my God, you can get a Swiss watch, a quartz Swiss watch for like 40 bucks or whatever it was, you know. And then you'd see those ads where everyone had them up and down their wrists and things like that, you know, and I couldn't afford to do that. I remember when I got my first Swatch when I was about, I think I was probably about 17 or 18. And then, but that was not in 83, it was probably around 85, because I couldn't afford it even then. I was working in a factory when I was 16 years old, you know, making no money. So, then I finally got my first Swatch, and it was just like it was the coolest watch. And I wore that for years. I wore it for years. I wish I still had it. I don't. And then in 1995, I went to the Grand Cayman Islands. And that was the only vacation I'd ever had. Was I was in Europe for several months touring and doing that stuff, music stuff. And I came back and I went on vacation for 2 weeks in the Grand Cayman Islands, and I learned to scuba dive and all that. And there was a Swatch store in Georgetown in Grand Cayman. And I can't believe this, but I bought a dive watch, a scuba watch from the Swatch store, and I went scuba diving with it. I'm gonna throw the picture up. You're not gonna be able to see the watch too much, but trust me, I am wearing the watch, the Swatch watch that I bought. Well, I still have that watch. And I've had this watch, I bought it in 1995. And it's been sitting in a box for years and years. I mean, I haven't worn this thing in years. And of course it didn't work. I mean, it's gone in the ocean, scuba diving. It's a 200-meter water resistant watch. And I didn't even know that until last night when I put my other glasses on and looked. And I changed the battery. I pulled the battery out, and I thought, there's no way this thing's gonna work, man. It's gonna be all corroded and whatever. I just took it out, put a battery in, and that thing is still, you can see it ticking. See that? And it's keeping time. I've had this thing running now for about a week, and it's keeping perfect time. So Swatch, man. That's so, I love this watch. I don't know what happened. Well, the band probably just whatever happened to it. I was gonna buy another one, but I haven't just yet. So I love the Swatch. Since then, I've had a few other ones. I actually had the very first automatic Swatch watch, which had an ETA 28-24 movement in it. Swatch Group owns ETA, Omega, Blancpain, Tissot, Hamilton, a bunch of other brands. And then of course, did I say ETA? Yes, ETA movements. So in 2013, was it 13 or 14, they came out with what was called the System 51. And I, of course, was not only first in line, man, I was first in line, okay? This is a really cool watch because it's made of 51 parts and one screw. So all the parts in this movement are held together by that one screw. The rotor is all the way around, and you can hear it. So when I heard that they were coming out with these, there was a Swatch store in the Glendale Galleria right across from Bindi, my AD for Rolex and such. And I was at the mall about an hour before they opened, and I'd called them too the day before, a couple days before, and asked them to hold me a watch. And so I bought this one and another one. But the bad thing is this watch, I haven't worn it and it just stopped working. It doesn't work at all. I've tried to get it going, but and you can't, you know, I mean, it's basically, you wind it, it's not working, and you can't repair it. It's just, it's sealed. It's a done deal. But, you know, I really was stoked when I got this watch. I mean, you know, I'm not going to throw it away. I'm going to keep it, you know. So put that over here. And keep in mind too, the Swatch Group is freaking huge. I mean, they own Omega. They rescued Omega in 1998, you know, and they pretty much revitalized the Swiss watch industry, you know, and I fully believe that. Here's another Swatch that was given to me by my buddy, my best friend, around 2011. It meant a lot to me, this watch, because I was going through a lot of health issues, still am, but, and I'd moved to Texas. I lived there only for 11 months, and then I got home as quick as I could. But they have great hospitals out there, by the way. But yeah, so I've had this watch. I love it. I can never see it when I tell the time, when I look at the time. And then I bought, just a couple months before the Moon Swatch came out, before anyone knew about the Moon Swatch, I bought this one. And I love this one too. It's just a fun little watch. They're just fun watches. So when the Moon Swatch came out, Omega, everyone jumped on the bandwagon. Everybody jumped on the bandwagon, man. I'm an OG fucking Swatch fan. And that's why I wanted the Moon Swatch so much, because, you know, I really love Swatch watch and I love Omega too, but it wasn't one of those things where it's like, you know, like I say, jumping on that bandwagon. I truly wanted it because I love Swatch watch. I still want one, but I just haven't been able to get one. You know, there's no Swatch store in LA, you know, now. So, but having said that, you know, I've always loved Swatch. It's like they're just a fun watch. They're not pretentious, and it's pretty simple. They're just you know, you wear them and you just get enjoyment from it. It takes away from all that sort of like, you know, wearing a Rolex or an Omega or whatever, Cartier, Patek Philippe, Vacheron Constantin, whatever you may be wearing. I think Swatch are, you know, I still think they're awesome. The price is still awesome. I think for this new one, my Halloween watch, I paid with the custom design and all that. And I say custom design, I'm going to use that term very loosely, but it was about 150 bucks, you know? Let me just put it on since I have it, and I've been wearing it since it's Halloween, and it's a Halloween themed watch, and it looks cool, man, you know? It's 41 millimeters. Hands are rhodium plated, you know, with the skeletonized dial movement. The strap is made of FKM rubber from the finest rubber plants in the United States. No, yeah, it's a fun watch. The movement doesn't hack, but neither do some Patek Philippe's, right? You know, but you know, you get a Swiss watch with an ETA movement in it, quartz movement, and for just such a ridiculously inexpensive price. So having said that, I hope you guys have a great weekend, and yeah, I'm gonna just like turn my camera off with my TV remote. So, and then anyone who's stuck around now for now has been asking about my back. I did go to the ortho. I didn't want to put it at the beginning of the video because I figured anyone who really sticks through my videos would want to watch this. So I do have a fractured disc in my back. So I essentially have a broken back. I have a compressed disc and I have degenerative discs and I have scoliosis. So I got to go next week, get a CT scan. I can't get an MRI because I have an IVC filter in my chest, which is a made metal, and could shift it, and that's not good. We don't want that. And then most likely it's going to be surgery. We'll discuss our treatment options. So I appreciate you guys who all cared and asked me to, wish me well and all that stuff. So you guys take care. Have a great weekend. We'll see you real soon.